Tammy Gooding at breakfast. If you're clock watching, it's 8:18 now on this Wednesday morning, October 1st, and it's 1 month to the day since Jaguar Land Rover cyber attack came to light, forcing the car maker to suspend operations. But JLR has announced it now plans to resume some production in the coming days. Manufacturing will resume on the 6th of October at the Wolverhampton facility. Our Midland correspondent, Navte Johal, is outside of JLR's Solihull plant.
I spoke to one supplier earlier who said this news is being met with some relief, yes, but also some apprehension as to when exactly things will return back to normal. We understand that the Wolverhampton engine plant will be the first to resume operations next week on October the 6th, and that the site here and the one in Halewood in Merseyside will return online in a phased manner, but that could take weeks rather than days.
Yeah, the shutdown of JLR has had a significant impact on suppliers across the country. Earlier, I spoke to Chris Hammett, the parts manager at MM4x4 in Martin Hussingtree, which specialises in parts for 4x4 vehicles, who told me how his business has been affected.
We use their software to look all the parts, etc. up. That's slowed us down quite a bit. It's increased the business slightly because a lot of the customers going to the main dealers can't get parts of the main dealers, so they're trying the likes of us. So that's increased our business, but we're a little bit slower, obviously, using a different software. We lost 1 or 2 sales on genuine Land Rover parts. Obviously, there's no ETA when we can get all the parts and that in. So those vehicles have really left off the road until we can get the parts in. But yeah, we lost 1 or 2 sales with genuine Land Rover parts. But we got 1 or 2 export companies we've been using to buy the genuine Land Rover parts from. That's but we're doing all right. Yeah, it's hard work, but we're doing all right.
OK, well, I'm pleased to hear that. I mean, you know, I mentioned there that some suppliers were being forced to make redundancies. I'm guessing from what you've told me, that's not something you've had to consider.
Not for ourselves. Obviously, we're not a supplier. We're a user. Obviously, we use the parts off them. So it has made us a little bit busier. But like I say, a lot of the vehicles, you know, we deal with vehicles from 1948 Land Rovers right up to current. Some of the older ones, we got no problem getting the parts for. It's just some of the later vehicles, when you need Land Rover parts, obviously in the workshop and obviously to trade customers, etc., that scores 1 or 2 problems, yeah, for sure.
And there you have it. It's not just been JLR that's been hit by cyber attacks recently. M&S suffered a huge damaging attack in April. Ordering stopped there for 6 weeks, £300 million in profit deficit. The Co-op had a massive one as well. Let's bring in Kevin Curran, who's a cyber expert in security. Hello there to you, Kevin.
Good morning.
How bad was the cyber attack JLR suffered, relatively speaking? Because we've heard there've been lots of others recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to cost. It's going to cost the company big, and it has cost the company big. That one of the modern scourges in IT is ransomware. We're seeing companies go out of business. Marks and Spencer will be really hit. We're into the hundreds of millions in these cyber attacks for these large organizations, and it's become a problem. Well, it's a real problem within the country, and probably the governments will have to step in because we're seeing now how IT is critical, mission critical within our infrastructure, within our economy. And if your system goes down, it's either back to caveman style pen and paper, or it either works again. So, and of course, it's all being ushered in by cryptocurrency. Again, our Bitcoins, our Monero, again, these cryptocurrencies, again, which really only help the speculators, have really helped the hackers, because now hackers can get paid anonymously across jurisdictions.
Who are these people? Who are they, these criminals carrying out these attacks?
The majority generally historically come from Eastern Europe, but a lot of these attacks actually have had English third parties involved as well. So a lot of it is just someone who comes across the script somewhere, it gets automated, and they get lucky or unlucky and they hit these systems again. But quite often it is Eastern Europe and even state-sponsored hacking groups as well. But until possibly we stop paying ransoms, we're going to still have this coming at us. The UK ranks in the top 5 for attacks worldwide about ransomware. And again, we have to do something about that. Again, we're seeing that 80% of ransom demands last year by companies were actually met by the companies. But only 60% of the owners got their data back. So there's about 1 in 5 who were asked for more money. So it's not a guarantee, even when you pay a ransom, that you will get your files unencrypted.
That's incredible. And very briefly before you go, do we need to be more wary of sharing our data with companies? Because, of course, once they are hacked, then all our stuff's there for them to see as well.
Of course, but there is regulations on companies, again, that they're supposed to do the right thing with our data, only ask for what's needed, store it safely, and not use nefarious methods to grab our data. But in some ways, this is different even. I mean, this is mission-critical systems within companies, and a company cannot do the work. So we're going to see companies shut down because, again, that modern infrastructure is so literally complex, again, that a lot of it is not actually only backed up in chunks. So we have a real problem trying to piecemeal back these systems again. But
Sure thing.
and it's a finite amount of budget any company has to allocate to cybersecurity.
Amazing. Kevin, thank you. Cybersecurity expert Kevin Curran. It's huge business, isn't it? And it's so debilitating for companies to the point that, you know, closure and billions of pounds lost. We'll talk more about this a little later in the programme here at BBC Hereford and Worcester. It's 25 past 8 now. Tammy Gooding at breakfast. And, well, 1st of October, Vicky Breakwell from the news. This is where we talk about what everybody's talking about. Well, there's only one 1st of October in the year. Pinch and a punch for the start of the month.
We used to say flicking a kick for being so quick when I was at St. Honest Primary School. Don't do that.
Superstitions. I mean, we've had a number of them come through this morning. We've talked about superstitions. In fact, a big hello to Kathy at Kidderminster Hospital.